I would like to just expound some mistakes of this group. First of all, brothers and sisters, first of all, that this group ISIS, its origins are not Islamic. That ISIS, its origins are from Hizb al-Ba'ath al-Ishtiraki, from the Arab Socialist Party that was once in Iraq and is alive and kicking today in Syria. That the leaders, the strategists of ISIS are not Islamic people. If you see a man with a beard and a short thobe, with a miswak, does it tell you that he must be Islamic? How do you know this man unless you know this man? Because you see somebody on television, mashallah, nice beard, nice short thobe, saying Qala Allah, Qala Rasul. He could be the biggest shaitan on this earth. The only way you know, brothers and sisters, is if you have knowledge of Islam, to take what he says and he does and weigh it in the scales of the Quran and the Sunnah. And so this group, brothers and sisters, its origins, all its leaders, and those people, its strategists, come from Hizb al-Ba'ath al-Ishtiraki, the Arab Socialist Party. And this has been firmly established. And somebody may say, no brother, you've got it wrong. Rather, that they are all Islamic, quote unquote, but they have an alliance with Hizb al-Ba'ath. I ask you this question, brothers and sisters. Hizb al-Ba'ath al-Ishtiraki, which is an Arab socialist organization that believed in secularism, not Islam. Not Saddam Hussein, not Bashar Assad, not Bashar Aflaq, the founder of this thought, ever believed in Islam. The ideology that they propound, that they call to, and they kill thousands of people for, was Arab socialism. So if this group, ISIS, is an Islamic group, how can you have an alliance with these people? How? How can you have strategists from an atheist organization? How can you have strategists for the last 30, 40, 50 years from their inception, place people in prisons only because they said La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah? People like Saddam Hussein, who boasted of overcoming the so-called Islamic threat, who filled his prisons not with atheists, not with socialists, but with people who are quote-unquote Islamiyin. And so the first point I want to say, brothers and sisters, that this organization is run by people from this party who said that I believe in Hizb al-Ba'ath, I believe in the Ba'ath party, and Aruba, that is Arab nationalism is my deen. And all our Arab brothers who are here today, they've heard this before. They've heard this mentioned many times. The second important thing, brothers, about this group, ISIS, is many people, they look at the La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and assume it must be Islamic. Well, here's another point, brothers and sisters. Saddam Hussein, after the second or the first Gulf War, did he put Allahu Akbar on his flag? He wouldn't dare put La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, because Hizb al-Ba'ath, both in Syria and Iraq, killed people based on La ilaha illallah. But he put Allahu Akbar. So because you put La ilaha illallah on a flag, and you press on in a particular color, does it mean necessarily that you are Islamic? Another important point, brothers and sisters, that none of the scholars have agreed with this organization, are supporting this organization. Rather, you find people who are unknown. People who have no stature as being Islamic scholars supporting this organization. But scholars from around the world, even those scholars who are Khawaarij themselves, have denounced this organization. So how can we support an organization our Islamic scholars don't support? Another thing we find with this organization, that they are quick to kill the Sunnis. Look in Syria, brothers and sisters. Don't take my word for it. All of us have access to the internet. Go home and see that this organization has been giving oil to Bashar al-Assad. The whole reason for them being in Syria was to fight Bashar al-Assad. Then how can they sell oil to Bashar al-Assad? This organization, you find them supposedly fighting for Sunni Islam, but they kill and they murder and they slaughter Sunni Muslims. Where on the other hand, they have alliances with Al-Nusayriya, the so-called Alawites in Syria. Another thing, brothers, we find from this group is that they have declared their leader to be the Khalifa, the Caliph of the Muslims. First of all, I want to ask a question, albeit rhetorical. Who is their leader? Does any of us know their leader? Is he somebody known to have Islamic knowledge? Is he somebody known to have taqwa? Who is this person we're going to give the bay'ah to? The bay'ah, the oath of allegiance, brothers and sisters. So any person who jumps up and says he's the Khalifa, we give bay'ah to him? Imagine, brothers and sisters, the fawda, the anarchy. If we have in this corner somebody said, I'm the Khalifa, and all of the congregation run to give him the bay'ah, the oath of allegiance. Then somebody in the corner over there says, no, I am the Khalifa, give me bay'ah. Then everybody leaves this man and goes to the corner over there and gives him oath of allegiance. Then you have a third person in this corner over here say, no, leave them too. Come and give me the oath of allegiance. I'm the Khalifa. So everybody runs to him. Can you imagine the fawda, brothers and sisters? The anarchy in the Muslim world? And he's not the first person to call himself the Khalifa. Many people came before him and called themselves Khalifa. But there are two things that we need to keep in mind. That the Khalifa has to have the consultation of those people in authority, from the rulers and the ulama. The people have authority in that country and in the Muslim world. Who from the Muslim world, much less their own country, has said, yes, you are the Khalifa to these people? The other important thing, brothers and sisters, to be the Khalifa has rules, has regulations and responsibilities. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has no authority over Baghdad. He cannot tell the people in Baghdad to go, to stop, up and or down. Then how then can he be the Khalifa of Muslims in Berlin or in Britain? How? How can you give oath of allegiance to somebody who has no rule or authority over you, can do nothing for you? But rather we find, brothers and sisters, all of this is from talbis, deception of the shaitan. For this group, ISIS, or the Islamic State as they call themselves, they have recognized that the time of Arab socialism is dead and it is over, has finished. Back in the 40s, back in the 50s, in the 60s, the whole Arab world, you heard Ishtirakiyya Islamiyya, Ishtirakiyya Al-Arabiyya, and all these other false claims. Those days are dead and over. In the Muslim world, we have found that secularism has come and it has gone. But the way to get to people's hearts, brothers and sisters, is through Islam. And so Hizb al-Ba'ath has regenerated itself, changed itself from Arab socialism to a brand of Islam that is like the Khawaarij brand of Islam. And so we find these people killing people who is not permissible for the Muslim ruler to kill. So, the Muslim, in a Muslim country, you can't just kill him or her for the sake of it. But this is what they do. The non-Muslim who comes into the Muslim country with an ahad, a covenant between you and them, you can't just kill them, but this is what these people do. And they do all of this, brothers and sisters, under terms that are beautiful to the Muslim, such as jihad, such as khilafah. They use these terms that have emotional value to the Muslims. When Muslims hear the word jihad, Muslim starts to feel proud. When we hear the word khalifa or khilafah, we start to feel proud. And the younger ones of us, they start to become emotional. And this is not helped by failed foreign policies of governments who have entered into the Muslim land and caused anarchy and leaving vacuums. And this is giving fuel to people like ISIS. Or where there is a policy of turning one's back on human rights issues or on genocide even. We find governments, Western governments, turning their backs in places like Gaza, which we talked about in the last khutbah, where people are being slaughtered in a way no kosher abattoir kills animals anywhere in the world. Muslims are being slaughtered rather than just saying, don't do nothing, just say, this is bad. This is genocide. Nobody says nothing. But all of this is fuel to those young brothers and sisters who do not know or understand the deen. And so when they see these signs, these groups, these organizations, they can't be distinguished. So brothers and sisters, these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you about the Khawaarij and Khariji groups like ISIS, whose origins are with Hizb al-Ba'th. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.